What's going on, stackers? So in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my year in review for publishing low content books over on Amazon. So, welcome back to StackinProfit. My name's Paddy, and over here we give you the tools and resources to learn, grow and master passive income streams so that you can live a life of freedom. Now, like I said in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a year in review for publishing low content books over on KDP. What we're first going to do is have a look at all of my years that I've been publishing, take a look, see how much I've earned each and every year. Then, nearer the end of the video, we're going to take a look at my sales, my royalties for 2021, deduct my ad spend, and all of that good stuff. Now, as we can see, this is over the whole account. Now, if you don't know, this is Get Book Report. This is one of the tools that I use for all my sales data. This is my preferred software, the one that I like. But we can see, over the whole account, since 2018 till 2022, so I'm coming up 5 years now that I've been publishing, I think. Wow. But anyway, over the whole account, I now have 4,051 books. Didn't really publish that many back in 21 last year, but I am planning on creating a lot more books this year. But 4,051 books equates, or I sold, or should I say, my royalties over the whole account is $106,000. Now, this is absolutely crazy to me. If you would have told me a few years back that I would have created six figures from books that I created from my laptop and that I didn't even have to print or ship or speak to customers, I would have told you that you were crazy. But here we are, almost 5 years and $106,000. Now, like I said, what we're going to do is start breaking down my years so we can see how much I actually earned. Now, the first year I have up is 2018. So if we go back to here, we can see November 2018 is when I first started. And in 2018, I made a grand total of $680. Now, this was my first few months publishing, and I got some pretty good results. Now, if we scroll down, we can see my earnings by author. So I had two different authors back then. And then my earnings by marketplace, we can see that I sold 52% on .com and 45% here in the UK. I think that was my biggest marketplace, or my biggest sales for the UK ever, that first year when I started. Now, if we look here, we can see 2018, I started in November 2018, but I sold 275 units, making that $680. Now, right here, I sold 24 of this one, making 71, 15 of this one, making 63, and we can see just here, I did pretty well, considering that this was my first couple of months publishing. Now, seeing these results like this, when I first started, is what fired me up to start creating more books. And all because of these 2 months is the reason why I stuck to actually publishing low content books. I see so many people start publishing, sell a few books, make a few dollars, but then give up. See, me personally, I use that couple of dollars, this $680, as fire to keep me going. When I started publishing, I saw the potential in my first 2 months. But this was the first year, 2018. I made $680. My second year blew that out of the water. So my second year publishing, I made $33,000. Now, not all of this is profit because I was running ads. I believe I started running ads round about here in 2019. So again, that's not all profit, but $33,000 in royalties was still pretty good, especially just for my second year. Now, my third year did $30,000. So back in 2019, I did $33,000. 2020, 2020, I made $30,000. So it was pretty consistent and kind of roughly around about the same amount of earnings as the previous year, as we can see just here. My best month in 2019 was $8,700. That was the best Q4 that I have actually had to date. But then my previous months, we can see I did fairly well. November was good, October was good. All these months above $1,000 is good to me. That was always the goal, to hit at least $1,000 per month. Obviously, I wanted more, but that was the base minimum. So we can see in 2019 that most of my months were above $1,000, apart from that January. Then if we look at 2020, we can see it was getting even better. So right here, we can see that I did fairly well. If we click on here, December wasn't actually my best month. It turned out to be October, where I made just over $5,000. And then November was a little bit lower with $4,200. And then December around that $4,400 mark. But again, throughout the year, it was above that $1,000. Right here is $1,600. February is normally pretty good for me anyway, because I have a few Valentine's Day books that do fairly well. But we can see very, very consistent sales. It was the same within 2019. Now, one of the main reasons that I got this is because I focused on building out my library. Now, my library of books is going to be different from yours. Yours is going to be different from me, because everyone's different. But I focused on building out my library in lots of different niches and lots of different book types. See, right here we can see I have 4,000 books. Not every single one of those books sells, far from it, but then some of those books might only sell a few every month, or some even more than that. My focus was on building out my library of books for KDP, and that's how I got to 4,000. So 2020 was a good year, 30,000. The previous year was good as well, 33,000, and then the previous year before that, when I first started, $680, which I was really, really happy about. But now that brings me on to 2021 and how much I earned. $40,000, $40,970 from my 4,000 books. Now, if we look at the sales just here, we can see last December I made 6,400, so that's actually my second best Q4 to date. And then throughout the year, we can see very consistent sales. This is one of my best years when it comes to publishing. As we can see, very consistent sales throughout the year, and since May, I've had every month above $3,000. Now, why am I showing you this, and why do I do income reports? Well, it's to inspire you. I love watching income reports, whether that's for affiliates marketing, low content book publishing, or anything. I like seeing income reports and seeing how that person is doing within their business. This used to fire me up for my own business and try and get better results for me. So all of this is just inspiration. Remember, I'm no one special. I'm still not a graphic designer. I don't class myself as a graphic designer, but I can put together books that do actually sell. And that all come down to lots of practice and working on my business each and every day. Anyway, 40,900 in 2021. So if we start taking a look at this, we can start breaking down some of this. Now, like I said on a previous one, now this isn't going to be all profit because I was running ads. Now, when it comes to running ads, you can't break that down through yearly, so I've had to go through every single month last year and totaled them up. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at these. We can see my earnings by author. I have one author or one pen name doing extremely well at the minute. But if we scroll down to here, we can see that 90% of my earnings come from .com, only 6.2 from here in the UK, and then 3.1 from Canada. Now, if we look here, I almost had one book make $10,000 last year. It has broke $10,000 now, but it came so close to actually breaking that $10,000 in 1 year. We can see I sold 4,841 units of this book, making 9,857. And this is just one of my adult colouring books. My colouring books is something that I do plan on focusing on in 2022. I'm already in the process of creating a whole bunch of new ones. But then my second bestseller for 2022, or 21 should I say, I sold 1,656, making just over $4,000. I sold this one. In fact, this one is in the love niche, in the Valentine's Day niche. Valentine's Day is literally just round the corner now, just under a month, so I expect this book to carry on doing just as well. But this one, I sold another 1,600, making just over $3,000, and that's again from another colouring book. We're going to do 5, but then this one I sold 1,197, making $2,370. Now this one is just a standard notebook, believe it or not. It's absolutely crazy how well notebooks can do if you find that right niche. Always remember with your notebooks, try not to target everyone. If you target everyone, you're targeting no one, so you really need to niche down your notebooks. Then this one I sold just over 1,000, making $2,000, and this is one of my best-selling composition notebooks of all time. But that's it, that's all of my stats for 2021. We can see I did fairly well, and it's actually my best year ever publishing low content books. It was my best year ever, yet I worked less than I did in previous years. How is that possible? Well, despite what some people say, KDP low content book publishing is very, very passive. It's passive in the sense that Amazon takes care of everything. Once you have your book published, and if it makes sales, Amazon's going to print the book, ship the book, and send it to your customers. So you don't have to handle any of that. All you have to do is focus on research, creating, and uploading. Now, last year, I didn't really do much of that. I think I created probably a bit more than a handful of books. But my previous efforts went on to create me this passive income. Now, I was still working on this business because I still like doing research, so I actually have a whole spreadsheet full of lots of different research with lots of different niches. I still do that on the regular, and I still have to manage my ads. So that can be done within a few hours, a day, a week, or however I felt. But my point is, I already had my library built out, which I focused on over the last few years. So in 2021, it was all very, very passive. $40,970 very passively. Now, if you're just starting out low content book publishing, then it's not going to be very passive for you. You have to put in the time, the effort to actually create good quality books around what people are actually searching for. Once you've done that and built out a library, then it's a lot easier to class this as passive income. But anyway, that's my results for 2021. We can see my best year ever, and I'm extremely happy with this. But this isn't all profit. So let's go over to my ads account. What I've gone ahead and done is gone ahead and totaled all of this up, because if we look at the date ranges, we can't actually change this to last year. It says year to date, but we can't do last year. So I went ahead and went from January, just here. So I totaled this up, went through. I'll go slow, so if you want, you can pause and total it up yourself to make sure I actually totaled it up properly. But we can see I spent altogether, we'll get to that in a second. Let's just go through this. I went through, totaled all of this ad spend up. Let's just do that last one, October, November to December. Now, all that just here came to a total of $10,197. So, last year I spent just over $10,000 on advertising. Now, seeing it like that, that sounds absolutely crazy to me. If you would have told me a few years back that I would spend just over $10,000 on advertising, again, I would have thought that you were crazy. Now, one thing I do want to note, because people see that I've spent this $10,000 and think, oh my God, I don't have $10,000 to spend. How can I do this? Well, I didn't start off with my ad budget. When I first started back here in 2018, all this was organic up until round about April 2019. Then all I do is just reinvest my royalties. So let's say right here, June 2019, I made just over 3,000 of that. Now when I get paid this, I take a small percentage and leave that within my business bank account. Doing that over time, repeatedly, will help you build up an ad budget. Then once you have that ad budget, you can go around and start trying to run ads. See, all of the money that I've spent on advertising just here, which is close to $20,000, which again sounds crazy, but all this that I've spent just here didn't come directly out of my pocket. It's all just reinvested royalties. So I don't know about you, but I haven't got 10 grand to actually take out of my own accounts to go and spend on advertising. This is all just income, reinvested income from my royalties. So I really want you to understand that. Once you start making a bit of an income, you want to use some of that income to invest into your business, whether that's better tools, advertising, but that's how you do it. And doing that over time will gradually increase your ad budget. As you make more money, you can save a little bit more, specifically just for ads. If you do not have the money to run ads, then please don't do that. You shouldn't be spending money that you don't currently have. Do things organically and then just reinvest your profits. And that's how I got to spend $10,000 last year on advertising. Anyway, back to here. Let's take a calculator. So we have to put in 40,000. There we go. So let's take this, just move that over ever so slightly. 40,000. Let's do that again. 40,970.64 minus my ad spend, which is just here, 10,000. 10,197 equals around 30,000 or just over. So 30,773. Now please bear in mind as well that I do have a few tools to help me in my business, and altogether that would probably come to around about $1,000. So for ease of this video, let's just say I made around $30,000 last year profit when it comes to my low content book publishing business, which again is just absolutely insane. See, when I had a 9-to-5 job working in a warehouse, the amount of money that I made in 1 year wasn't even close to this. So when I had a job, I was making around £13,000 a year. Not very much at all. So to make more than that from one income stream and from the comfort of my own home is absolutely crazy. And again, this is why I have or love having an online business. So to make $30,773 in royalties from my own house is absolutely crazy. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also, go hit subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you can be notified for any further videos. That being said, I've been Paddy, this has been Stacking Profit, and I'll see you again soon.